Hey, I'm Chris.
I'm Zach. We're from Like a Storm, and you're listening to LINEA ROCK.
Hi Chris, hi Zach.
Hello.
Welcome to Milano, welcome to LINEA ROCK.
Thank you.
Good to have you back to our program.
Yeah, great to be here.
Because actually it was Matt the last time. We met with him exactly 3 years ago. It was February, not March.
Oh yeah, it was pretty close.
So some things have happened since then.
Oh, yeah.
You still stand strong with the band. But which point of your musical career you're at in this moment?
Well, hopefully not the end. Not the beginning, I guess. You know, the middle. We just released our third album a couple of months ago, so we started touring that in June, I guess, right?
Yeah, it came out in June. We've basically been pretty busy since then. We did a tour with Godsmack in the United States for about a month, and then we're here with Godsmack now.
We did some headline stuff in the US, so we just finished a 5-week tour and then had one day and came across to this Europe one. So we're in a busy point of our career, which is great.
Busy point,
Yeah.
okay. So I was wondering, you use the didgeridoo, synths, programming in general.
Yep.
Are these difficult instruments to deal with on the road for a rock band?
Maybe the didgeridoo more than others. When I first started playing the didge, I played the traditional versions of the instrument, which is a hollowed out tree branch, and it has a mouthpiece made of beeswax, and that was very difficult to bring on tour because every show I would turn up at, the mouthpiece would have melted in transit or broken, and then I would be backstage trying to build it again before we went on. So now I use PVC didges, and they're much sturdier, so yeah, they're good.
Are you experimenting with any other new surprising instrument at the moment?
Slide didge is pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a slide didgeridoo that we use in our headline set.
Okay.
So that one changes pitch as I play it. So I do a didge solo for a couple of minutes in the US, and then the didgeridoo kind of slides, and we do a slide guitar solo before Wish You Hell. I don't know, we use a ton of different things, don't we? We just have fun with it and keep experimenting.
About the set list, do you prefer playing new songs in a live set, or do you love also playing, fan favorites? And do you change during the tour, the set list? Do you have like 2 or 3 that you use, or you have a fixed one because with the didgeridoo and all the stuff, it's better to have it fixed?
We have a pretty flexible set list depending on the band we go out with. Depending on the genre, we want to fit to their fans, and we want to see probably what flows the best. I personally like playing the new songs at present because we haven't played them that much live, and some of them I've been playing for 5 years, and these new ones we've been playing for only a couple months really.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting to be able to play new songs.
3 albums, plus 2 EPs and a live album. But anyways, 3 full-length albums in 10 years is it's good, but it's also careful, I must say. So you don't plan albums, you don't want to have like an album every couple of years?
Yeah.
Or actually, you want to take it step by step without, hurrying up and waiting for the good inspiration?
No,
you never really want to rush an album.
you don't want to rush it, but at the same point in time, like our first record was in 2009, and we were with a different record label, and so I think that whole process made us pretty disillusioned with the music industry. So then the second album, that just started out as an EP that we made just for our fans so we could keep touring, but we were delayed with that one, by all the contracts and getting out of our first deal and that kind of thing. So there was a longer gap, I think, almost 5 or 6 years between our first 2 albums. The last 2 have been much closer together, and we were so busy touring the last record that kind of held back the release of Catacombs. But I think, I don't know, we're in a really good groove with it now, so I think the next record will be a lot quicker. But obviously if you're continuing to tour new markets and you know, you're playing shows you've always dreamed of, you don't want to hold that and leave that and go and get back in the studio. So it's a balance.
And since Zach joined the band, you produced 1 album, if I'm correct, which is Catacombs.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the balancing composition of the songs change some way since Zach is in?
I'd say, as far as musically, I think everyone's style went to the next level, and we really, you know, practiced and tried to better ourselves. And I think, especially drumming, I mean, everything got kind of to the next level, and we wanted it to be like that because we toured Europe a couple of years ago with a band called Gojira, and we were just absolutely blown away by just how talented they were, and I think it really inspired us to play better as well. So I think equally between all 4 of us, we all got better with this album. Yeah.
So Zach, you're officially the 4th brother.
He is.
The adopted brother, yeah.
We haven't decided if he's been adopted into our family or the other way around. Maybe we're 3 of us adopted into his family. I don't know.
Okay, Zach, since your father has been in the business so long, is this easier for you? Or, I mean, because you know what happens and all the stuff, so you know the tricks, you know the stories, so is it easier or actually?
I think it's pretty easy from both sides, from my point of view and my family's point of view, because my family's used to people being away and touring for a living. And now that I get to do it, I definitely have some tips from my father, and you know what to avoid and what not to avoid, I guess. It definitely makes it easy. I got to travel a lot as a child, and I got to see a lot of the world, so it's really cool being able to come back and kind of follow in his footsteps. So I'm really fortunate to do that.
In your songs, the hook is always well balanced with the hanger. How do you balance out, you know, programming with organic music, and usually do you start from a synth idea or the classic way with the guitar or any other instrument?
I think, I mean, for us it starts kind of any number of different ways. You know, we just have an idea of you know, what point we want to get to when we say the song's done, but it's, I don't know, I think it's more exciting if it can start from a variety of different ways. You know, sometimes it might be a lyric that comes to you first.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, other songs you'll be playing guitar and you'll get a guitar riff and you'll build the song from that. Sometimes it could be a synth thing, sometimes it could be a drum beat, you know. It's, I don't know, I mean, it's important for us not to have a record full of the same song 12 times, you know. So from that point of view, anything we can do to keep it exciting for us and keep experimenting is a good thing.
Concerning the lyrics, the result are they like the result of a choral introspection, or there's one leading mind? You know, you're maybe Chris, the one in charge to write the lyrics. No. Okay.
Ken, Matt, and I all write the lyrics. It's split pretty evenly too, and I don't know. I mean, we just write about what we know and what we go through, and I think you have a lot of experiences when you're touring for a lot, when you're away from home for a long time, and when you're kind of exposed to different things every day, and it's almost like a whirlwind. And then when you take time off that to make a record, then you kind of forced to do a lot of introspection and kind of just process everything that's happened to you in the last couple of years, and that's where it comes from.
Catacombs cover artwork is very bizarre. Looks like when you were a child and you play with ink on paper, pouring it, folding the paper. Is it exactly how you did it? Or, I mean, how many did you take and to have the right one? And what, you know, what the right one has to evoke?
Well, basically, you know, Catacombs for us is a metaphor for everything that you have very deep inside of you and everything that you're carrying around, and how much influence that has on every day, it has on the future, you know. So I had the idea to use the Rorschach you know, which is a test, a psychological test from the 60s.
Okay.
You know, where the ink block test they call it. And I had the idea to kind of use that as a visual metaphor for everything that we're carrying around that makes us see the world a different way. So, you know, the ones through the booklet, those were all done by Kent actually, but the one on the cover was taken from that classic 1960s Rorschach. We just thought there was something so cool about that. And I flipped it around and I played with the colors, and we always meant to, you know, we always thought we were going to replace it with a new one, but there was just such a cool vibe to it, you know. And I like the history idea of it. So
it was the perfect one.
Yeah, well, we thought so anyway.
Did you pay a visit to the Catacombs before or maybe during the making of the album?
We did in 2015. We were on tour at Tremonti. We had a day off in Paris, and it's something we've always heard about, and you know, it's really famous, so we all went, and I think the second we saw it, we just kind of fell in love with it, and that's where probably the idea spawned.
Yeah, that's where King got the idea to name the album that. So.
Nowadays, the way success is measured and established is very different than back in the old days. What do bands like yours dream to achieve right now? What's your ultimate goal?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, I think in a lot of ways they'll be the same as any bands we've ever toured with. You know, you want to play to packed rooms full of fans who understand and connect with your music.
Yeah.
You know, I think for us that would be more important than playing to massive rooms where nobody really cared. You know, we've been very lucky to have fans that we have this great connection with, and that is really important to us. As far as, I don't know, material success, obviously that is probably different, but I don't think you start a band dreaming about mansions and fast cars, you know what I mean? You do it because you love playing music and you want to express yourself. So
I think always getting better and better as a band too is another one.
Because you gain, you know, millions of views on YouTube, but now you don't become rich with that. So, you know, is that a problem for you, or you leave it, you know, relaxing?
I mean,
I think you just have to accept
it could be better, but you could always go and leave and get another job if you really wanted to, you know? I mean, you know, we're grateful to get to do this for a living, and you know, yeah.
Moving to America, in hindsight, has been the right choice for the band. And did you approach to music, you know, any differently in a different environment that was not your usual one?
Not in any way other than, you know, we really wanted to progress as a band, and to do that we wanted to, you know, play with bands who were so much better than us. You know, get the opportunity to play with bands who played every night of the week, and for us to get to do that too. So that has had a huge impact on us. That was the reason that we moved.
Yeah.
You know, we get to play with so many bands that we love, and get to see, you know, what fans of music they are. I think that's been a huge inspiration.
Why not London, which is a New Zealand British colony? You pick America.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we've always kind of been influenced by a lot of American rock bands.
Okay.
And I don't know, London's a bit crowded, you know what I mean?
A bit far from everything too, unless you tour Europe all the time.
There are a lot of bands, a lot of New Zealand bands that do go there, but I guess we had an idea of what we wanted to do, and we did it. And, you know.
Actually, as you mentioned, America is certainly one of the focal points in the music business. A lot is happening there. So you living there, you're in a certain sense in the eye of the storm, in a sort of organized chaos, let's say. Is this more stimulating for you, or it's actually also something that, you know, can be difficult to deal with?
I mean,
a challenge, a risk, I don't know.
I don't know. You know, obviously, you want to stay focused on what you're doing. You want to stay focused on being the best band that you can, writing the best songs, you know, being inspired. You don't want to go anywhere and just be distracted with everything else that's going on. But I guess if you love what you do, then that's become pretty easy. So, yeah.
Where are you based at the moment? You live in the same city or?
No, we actually live on all different places.
Yeah,
I live in
different.
Los Angeles at the moment. I've
Yeah.
lived there for 8 years this year now. So.
Yeah, Matt and I live in Las Vegas.
Okay.
We wrote a lot of Catacombs there, and after we were finished, we decided, you know, we liked it and we'd stay there.
Okay.
Kent lives in Toronto in Canada.
Wow,
so
that's
we're
far.
pretty spread out, but I mean, you know, we tour all over the US and all over the world, so we kind of just will fly into somewhere and rehearse there and then start a tour. It's actually, you know, given that we live in like, you know, 3 different cities in 2 different countries, we see a lot of each other, you know, so that is not a problem.
Okay. Which are the 3 songs that define your sound and style the best from your repertoire?
I think Love the Way You Hate Me has to be out there.
Love the Way You Hate Me has to be up there because it was the first time we incorporated the didgeridoo into an actual song. I think Pure Evil is one of them in terms of that was a defining moment for the Catacombs record. That was the, you know, us realizing the vision that we had for that album. I don't know if you had to pick a third.
For me, I would say it's probably complicated because it's kind of the heavier genre we wanted to lean towards, and I'd say with the screaming and the heavy guitar riffs and the double bass and the drums, I think musically it's probably the direction we want to continue in.
Yeah, also Matt sings in that one, you know, which is obviously a huge part of our sound, but you know, a lot of people on first listen might not realize that, so it is cool to, you know, release singles and that kind of thing where he's doing lead vocals. Yeah.
I know you also like to play covers and play with covers because you rearrange them a lot. Do you have any new one you're working at, and which is your favorite one among the ones that you've done?
We were just speaking about doing one the other day.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say it because I think it's a good idea.
You don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, right? I don't know, I mean, you know, we'll just kind of jam around on different things just for fun, and if we like the way they come out, then we'll throw it into a live show.
But how do you usually pick those songs? I mean, it's like some...
I mean, I don't know that it's as serious as it sounds. You just sort of try it, and if you like it, you know.
Okay.
Whenever we pick covers, we just do them for fun, you know. When we're writing, you know, our own songs, and when we're putting our own songs on the record, we want to go through them, you know, lyrically to make sure you're really saying what you intend to, and musically to make sure it's really interesting. So it's nice to do a cover and just really not worry about that as much. Just have fun with it.
Okay, last question. Are you working on some new songs on the road? If you have time to, and what's immediately next after this tour, and how do you imagine yourselves in 10 years?
Wow, last question was a 3-part. You snuck that in there, didn't you? Okay, so step 1 was, are we working on new? Yeah, we're starting to now that, you know, we played a lot of new songs. We probably brought in about 6 new songs on the last headline tour we did. So the first thing is to relearn those and learn them live, you know what I mean? And then as you start to kind of get really comfortable with that, you can start shifting your focus to, you know, working on new music and that kind of thing. We have a ton of songs left over from when we were writing Catacombs, just as when we were writing Awaken the Fire, we had a ton left over, and a lot of those made it into Catacombs. So we're always working on things. What was the second part?
What our next plan is, after this will be about 2.5 months of straight touring without a break. So we're going to go home for about 1.5 months, 2 months. I think these guys might go back to New Zealand, visit some family.
Go to New Zealand,
and then after that, we actually come back to Europe. We do mainly all the festivals in Europe, and a couple shows that haven't been announced yet. We'll probably announce those somewhat soon. So
And
that's our next plan.
how do you see yourselves in 10 years from now? Another 10 years, of course.
A
Wow.
little bit taller, hopefully.
I don't know if
For
you're.
myself.
I think you might be done growing, man. I'm afraid. Unless you put on some high heels. It could be an interesting 10 years from. I don't know. You know, continue playing. You know, obviously we've played so many places that we've always dreamed of playing, and a lot that we've never even dreamed of playing. So it's amazing just to go to new places, continue playing. It's amazing to come back to cities and see more and more fans there every time we come, and see people, you know, sing along to the song. So, I mean, if we can continue that, you know, it'd be incredible.
I think we'd also like to probably explore Asia a little bit more in the next 10 years. We're about to do our first ever show in Japan this month, so hopefully it's the start of a different country and different continent to keep touring in.
Yeah.
Great. So thanks, guys, for your time.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're about to go on stage
We are.
in an hour. So thanks again, and
Thank
see
you.
you soon.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.